तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा 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 तेरी
Boom. What's good, everybody? Yeah, I'm fucking up because I'm not used to doing this shit no more. Doing the introduction. All right, all right. Welcome to Sports Sushi 2.0. Sports heady or whatever we doing.
Okay, I think to clarify, because it does get complicated. This is the Hezzy Podcast brought to you by Sports Sushi 2.0.
All right.
There we go.
What's good? Sterling has a family obligation, so he cannot join us today. So it's just your favorite light skinned niggas, Russ and himself. Then you got the boy King joining with us. That's a nigga I ain't seen in a minute, boy. How you doing, man? How you doing, King?
Man, I'm good, brother. Love.
All right, good, man. It's always a blessing to see old faces and new spaces. Goddamn it.
What team is that on your chest?
Man, this Dallas Mavericks, man.
Man, I'm surprised. The reason why I asked, because if y'all don't follow this man on Twitter, man, he tears into players like an AAU coach. So I'm surprised you're wearing the shirt. Because if you watched the game last night, I was pissed at them motherfuckers. So I know you was looking at the TV like this is piss poor. This is piss poor. But
yeah, very.
All right, so
and did the Rockets win? I'm sorry, did the Rockets win?
They on right now.
Oh, okay.
Hawks beat the Knicks though.
Yeah, I saw that. Trae Young is a dirty little bastard out there.
Look, bro, there's a special place in my heart for players that embrace the villain role. Like I'm gonna be honest, it is a necessary evil if you want to call it that. But it's necessary. You got to have the bad with the good, and I love the fact that Trae Young is terrorizing the city of New York.
Real quick before we jump into the football of it all, because I know this is going to be mainly college football, and if we have time, I'll let you describe this ridiculous thing that you've come up with, King, to the people about the man from Chicago and the other man from Memphis.
Let's jump into it. No.
Ghost is gonna lose his mind. Ghost might be like, let me on the show. But all right, so let me make sure I have this correct. So there was the dunk by Ja Morant, the sick reverse, and a young man below me on this little cube box thing said something along the lines of, "This is why he's better than Derrick Rose."
Not just the dunk alone. This is my thing. I love D Rose. But if you look at the league skill wise, it's a little bit better than what it was when D Rose was in the league. Now, Ja Morant, if you look at statistically and just look at his game, he's just as athletic. He's just as athletic, if not more athletic than D Rose, and he facilitate better and rebound as well. So I'm looking at the overall game of what he's bringing. Now I know the argument is basically, well, D Rose won an MVP. Yes, but with that type of the stats that he put up,
skilled than D Rose.
He can't even type. You got him so he can't even type. He's from Chicago though. So he found. Yeah, I knew that's one reason why. I just had to see him.
So D Rose can facilitate and make his team better than Ja Morant?
I think so. I think so.
I'm gonna say this. I can see the comparisons.
Ja's averaging almost 10 assists, bro.
I do get D Rose prime vibes when I watch Ja Morant, to be honest.
Okay, so you compared the skill. So would you say that with it being facilitating, the offensive players that play with Ja Morant are not better than the ones that played with Derrick Rose?
Man, D Rose had some pieces around him, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm just saying he didn't have a bang. We can try to say, what's his name? No, he didn't. No, never mind. He didn't play with the 3-point. Never mind. But no, he didn't have a Bane. He didn't have a Dylan Brooks at the time that, you know what I'm saying, when Dylan Brooks was balling for them at the height he was balling. He damn sure didn't. Well, he did have Joakim Noah.
Chris Duhan, Joakim Noah, bro.
You're a Duke fan. It's no lie. So Kirk. I'm
Luau Dane, like, bro, he had some pieces, bro.
He did have some pieces. I'm just saying his pieces compared this Memphis. When you take Derrick Rose off that Chicago team, I believe they were like a lottery team, or close to it. They did not win a lot of games.
At one point, they had Aaron Brooks that was going off from Oregon, and then Chris Duhan was putting in work for a little minute too.
No, he was, but I just don't think that. I don't think that when you say facilitate, like, I believe that now. I do believe that John Morant does facilitate, and they might facilitate in different ways. But I think that to say that he's a better facilitator of the Rock to get his teammates involved, I just don't think that that's correct, man. Because in the game, and you know this, like you said, it's a different time frame. The game was played different at that point in time. So, and then I know you know this because I know you watch basketball since you could probably breathe. So you know when he was at Memphis, he was facilitating the ball as well. Because he had some guys he needed to pass the ball to at Memphis, and he got the rock to him. Because I don't even believe he was their leading scorer. We knew he was the best player, but what was the cat with the long socks? I forget his name, but he was their leading scorer, the wing player. But I would say I disagree, but I don't think you're crazy. I'm not gonna say what the fuck like my nigga Ghost, but I will say that
I love D Rose, man. But Ja one of them ones, man.
Is he your favorite player right now?
I wouldn't say he's one of my favorite young players in the league for sure. They can go get you a bucket or just an ultimate playmaker. Not even he can do it all. That's what I'm saying.
I will say this: he is one of the exciting players. I'll say.
No, you can't hate on him. Yeah, no, you can't hate on him. Like when you made the statement, I am gonna say what I said in there though,
he can shoot the three better than D Rose. Let's. I'm trying to tell. Like, let's look.
No, okay.
D Rose, how many threes was D Rose taking, bro? Ja can shoot the 3 too, the mid range, and he can go dunk on you.
But it was the game, no. It's like that's kind of hard. Like that's like. If Ja played back then he would have not shot threes that much either because there wasn't that much of a need to because the game style changed. Now, you can admit, though, when the game style changed, D-Rose started hitting them motherfuckers.
Nah, not consistently, bro. D-Rose might take a three. Then that wasn't his game. D-Rose was a slasher, bro. D-Rose was a slasher. If that big man step in and commit, he might dunk on you. He might drop a dime, but he getting to that bucket.
Now, if you're talking like straight up prime D-Rose, like the best D-Rose we ever saw, youngest MVP ever, yes, you are correct. He's not shaking any threes. He doesn't need to unless he has to beat LeBron in a playoff game. He was like that, but that's in the mold of that's like you know when you compare. If you're comparing like who's the second best shooting guard or third best shooting guard, my bad, RIP Kobe. Third best shooting guard of all time, is it Harden or is it D Wade? Some people are gonna say, well, D Wade couldn't shoot like that. He didn't need to. It wasn't a part of the game or needed for his game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if am I missing somebody, but it's Jordan, Kobe, and then
that's tough. I like Harden and D Wade. I think that's another a really good argument depending on what you want out of your player, but I like D-Wade just because he used to lock up too. So I'm going with the two-way player that can, 3-level score, and he gonna be able to play some defense.
Okay, let me see. We had someone ask.
Harden first ballot though. Harden first ballot Hall of Famer though.
No, he is for real. Someone that asked what's John Morant's 3-point average. Let me see if I can.
Ooh, it's time to get to the statistics.
Well, no, he's shooting 45% from the field, so that's awesome. Really good. I'll give him awesome. Looks like he's shooting 30%. Last 10 games, about 34% from 3-point range. But I can't. You're not wrong though. He does shoot it better. Now I can't say this to this. Let me see. to this one, I will say I cannot compare. I cannot sit there and say that I agree, but I'm not going to say that John Morant's IQ is not up there, because even though John Morant parades around and does a lot of wacky, funny shit, like that motherfucker knows what the hell's going on in between those 94 feet, in between that squared rectangle court. Like he knows what's going on. So, but I do agree with this though, and you can say what you can see what you have to see about the fact that he had to deal with the Heatles. Camera went out. Still with us?
Yeah, we'll wait for him to come back. He probably just got out. All right.
Oh yeah, let's get out.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll wait.
But yeah, I knew that would get Ghost. I knew that would get Ghost wired up.
There you go.
Oh, did you see? I was gonna say the last before we move on to college football, because I know you've been watching that too, King. We're gonna get into that. What about the fact that that Rose had to deal with the Heatles, man? He had to deal with the LeBron James, the D Wade, and the Chris Bosh's. And is there a team like that Ja, you know what I'm saying, has to surpass, or is there going to be a team that he can surpass to, get him over that hill? I think there is.
I think right now, he in the West. Although it's up in the air right now. Everybody is struggling across the league in general. But he's still in a heavy West. You can't too much count out the Nuggets. You got the Mavericks. You got Phoenix. You got the Warriors. Collectively, they playing a little well too. You got the Timberwolves. Like it's heavy over there. So I think it's a more balanced, versus when D Rose was there. It's like, hey, you got one or two top teams, and then it is what it is after that. But now, one through, the top 10 teams, you just don't know.
The parity is insane. Someone said this, and I'm just gonna get, because this isn't on our screen. This is from the gram. John Morant plays like D Rose and has Iverson height. That's pretty close. That's pretty close.
Height. Bro,
height.
John Morant. Oh,
height.
Hype. I was
like, my bad. Height. No, not height. Height.
Oh,
height. Yeah, no, height. Height. Like he's because he does have that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how old you were when he was at his prime and making the Be Yourself and I'm Me commercials, but Iverson was taking over that shit. Like he had motherfuckers in middle school getting tattoos.
Yeah,
like, he like for real. He had people in middle school
believe it or not, no, I had people on my middle school team that was tatted up. Hell, I can go back. I went to school in Oak Cliff, so I had a couple of people with tattoos in elementary school too, which is crazy.
I'm about to say, when you said it, I was like, man, you've been seeing tattoos since,
man. No. I like AI when they do the whole Mount Rushmore thing, and they always forget AI on there. I kind of get mad because I'm like, man, he was the one that really change up the dress code. Top 5 on that when I see. I know when they put that 4, but you got to add in Iverson for the culture.
I think he's the most influential player to ever play basketball.
Some would say Steph Curry, but I like Iverson now.
I don't think Steph Curry is the most influential. I guess from the actual game standpoint, yes, from the game of basketball, how he influenced the three to be shot more than any other shot and to try shooting it from all over the place, yes. But as far as like influencing like the swag, the personality, like be who you are, like what kind of hooper are you? Are you a hooper? Or are you a basketball player? Like Iverson's whole demeanor kind of created that divide of like he really created like the divide. Like there was people before him, and I know that you get into this argument, Keem, and you know what I'm talking about. If people don't know, we can explain it. But he's really the one that created the divide between like I'm a hooper, that's a pro.
Mm-hmm.
Like these other guys are just basketball players. You know what I'm saying? Like and like So I see like why he should be like at least number 5. Like I believe that he is. Like you can't talk about the game of basketball. The story cannot be told. Like you cannot not talk about him. Like if you were to tell aliens about the wonderful game of basketball, like you would pause in the middle of whatever you're talking about. You say, "Oh, I got to tell you about the early 2000s, bro. There was this nigga named Allen Iverson. Oh my God, like he wasn't that big, but Jesus Christ, you couldn't, blah 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 blah. Oh no. So I can see there's some truth to that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
kind of went on a tangent there, but AI deserves his flowers anytime it's time to give them.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
So what you got? It's college football time, Boogie.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into college football. All right. Let's go ahead and just jump off real quick. We're just going to touch on pause. Bill Belichick, real quick, just got hired as head coach of North Carolina football program after receiving zero interest from the NFL level teams. Let's just start here. Let's just,
he's gonna revolution. He's gonna. I don't want to say revolutionize, but I saw an interview that he was doing, and when he went over his plans of how he would run a college football program, I instantly, in the middle of him saying it, I was like, he's about to get hired by UNC, because there's no way someone in a position to hire people is going to say no to what he did. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the position that he's looking for. And so the addition of money in NIL, he basically had a step-by-step outline of, we're going to get kids. If they're able to make the NFL, I'm going to, one, let them know that they're able to make the NFL, and he's going to be recruiting, so that's what his job's going to be. And then he said, I'm going to be able to tell them how to make the NFL. Everybody talks about Bill Belichick's, I guess, his superpower of being a coach is that he's the only coach that people say that can coach every position. Like he's the one guy that, like, if you want to talk about linebackers, he got that. If you want to talk about cornerbacks, he got that. You want to talk about receivers and on down the list. And so he's going to be able, he said, I'm going to tell the kids, you know what I'm saying, this is how you make the league, these the drills you need to do, this is how you need to play the position, yada, yada. And of course, all that leads to being a better team. But when you hear him outlining it, it's like a 400-page, he had a 400-page, I'm going to call it a book, but he had a 400-page application. He gave them a 400-page outline of what he was going to do. In that, he included, like, we're going to have a guy that's basically like a GM or an assistant GM that's going to be in charge of the players, but not only in charge of the players NIL. We got a guy in charge of the players academics. If the guys aren't passing classes, he's going to be fired. We're going to get a guy that can make sure the players pass classes. We're going to get a guy that makes sure the NIL gets dealt with. He's going to be able to give the guys, of course, coaching from all levels. He's got, if you haven't watched Bill Belichick in the last year that he's been on TV, you'll find out that he's basically a living encyclopedia of football. And he has film for every type of archetype of player that has ever played and probably is ever gonna play, and know where to put them. I think he's gonna, I don't know if revolutionize is the best word, but I think UNC is gonna, his abilities are going to be able to create a whole new thought process, if you will, of college football and how you recruit, how you train, how you get players ready to go to the next level, because he's taking full advantage of the fact that you're not here because you love North Carolina and that you love Chapel Hill. You're here because you want to go to the NFL, and I'm gonna show you how to do so. And I can't wait to see it, because I want to see what he does as far as assistant coaches. I want to see what he does as far as recruiting, because you don't have to go into people's houses anymore. So a lot's been said about Bill Belichick probably doesn't want to go into people. He didn't have to. He could Zoom call them, and his name alone, like the greatest football coach ever said, hey, Keem, you want to come play some DB? I don't know what position you play, but he was like, you want to play some DB and you are a top 5 DB in the country, you consider it. You're not going to sit there and just say no, especially if you look at the guys he's had play for him in the NFL, and he is a defensive coordinator at heart, a coach at heart. So I think it's awesome. I don't know if the outcome's going to be, a national championship, but I just think it's awesome, and I think it's awesome that North Carolina is taking this approach. It's very businesslike.
Nice. King, what you think?
I agree. I think with the whole transfer portal, which I talk to a lot of high school kids, they're not giving out a lot of high school scholarships to a lot of kids no more, because coaches want to win immediately, especially, a lot of coaches are in the hot seat. So they want to get the players who already had a film 1-2 years going in the portal versus offering a kid in high school. But I like that move for UNC, because they always have a solid team. Now it's just like getting the recruits there, getting the hype up. That's what it's all about. And I think he's going to be able to get the players, like you said, right off his name in general, because a lot of the players, they grew up watching Tom Brady, the Patriots win all of those Super Bowls. So it's like, man, I know he has connections in the pipeline to the NFL. And I want to be able to say that I played for Coach Bill Belichick's, you know, that all of the other players, including Tom Brady, played under him. So I want to go over there in that system and start learning how to be a pro immediately, like you said. So I really like that move. And I seen, I was like, man, he finally got an opportunity. And I think he's going to come into this opportunity with a chip on his shoulder, being that a lot of NFL teams passed on him, you know, probably a lot of college teams, and UNC was like, gave him a thumbs up. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win at this level. I'm gonna be successful. Like you said, it may not result to a national championship, but now you got the college football playoff with a good amount of teams in it, that it's a good chance that they could, you know, do well in conference and maybe make the playoffs, which, you know,
just
like
the ACC
historically. Yeah, they got a shot. Like the ACC
they have a shot.
One thing
they have a real shot.
One thing I want to add to that before we move on was that I do want to see how he navigates these NIL waters and things of that sort. But just to piggyback off what Keem said about high school coaches aren't really looking towards high school players. Hell, the SMU coach was at a school and spoke on that and said that, you know, how much it costs for to get a 4-year player out of high school versus whenever they can get a guy that's already college ready. They know that he is, you know, in the system, because it's going to get a little harder for high school kids to actually get a scholarship now. So it's like, you know, you might have to go the, you know,
semi-pro
route, or Division II route, or you might have to go the JUCO route a little bit more, you know, now because of this NIL shit. So. But I mean, it is what it is, you know, and you know, it was going to change the landscape of the.
You gotta go like instead of Power 5, you'll go Group of 5. Yeah. But I think it's something as far as the evolution, and they have to get their, you know what I'm saying, their boundaries and shit. But as far as like the evolution of the sport, the parity's never been better, and by the time we're old, it's going to be the most greatest thing ever. With the fact that, you know what I'm saying, all these players come in, you can pay them, you can have this, you know, so everybody has a certain amount. It's if you're not playing, then you're not going to get paid, which I think is the biggest thing, because all y'all remember the old BCS days, and like Keem and Boogie, y'all remember it meant more to a guy to go sit on the bench for a team like Texas, Ohio State, Oklahoma for 3 years and play one than it did to try and play. Yeah, and nowadays it's like, nah, bro, like I got to get out here. Like, and I got to play.
Well, it's all about the money now. My thing is, I hope they create. I love and I hate NIL, but I hope they create some, you know, some guardrails and guiding principles around it, because you have kids, you know, based off that social media, getting, you know, social media, and then, you know, the hype around, you know, them coming out of high school, and they haven't even proved anything. What's the kid, Colin Simons? You know, he was at Duncanville and had, I think, a $500,000 NIL while he was at Duncanville. So, you know, of course, that went up, I think, to like $1 million or 1.5 or something once he got to Austin. But it's like now he has proved himself. But you got a lot of the kids, even the ones who have been in college for a couple of years, who are not producing. And, you know, I'm with Dion. I'm like, you know, you got kids making $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, and the production is not there. So
because they already paid.
Yeah, they already paid, you know, and there's really no motivation there, which
they're already paid.
You know, you ain't got the hunger, you know. But
I think that's part of the guardrail. They got to find. I think that's part of the guardrail. They got to find a way to not. You could give the money, but you can't fatten up the pockets immediately when you hit on campus. It's a 17, 18-year-old, 20-year-old. You know what I'm saying? Like there is nothing that you can do. All of us have been there. Keem, I remember you at 20. I remember myself at 20. I remember Boogie at 20. If you give us $5 million, what?
Man, just to go to practice, nigga, and not really have to prove
just to go to practice.
Nigga, do you not know if I was making $1 million when I was at UTSA DJ? Do you not know that I would?
But it's kind of like you getting it's equivalent to your profession. It's kind of like you getting $1 million up front. You haven't DJ'd any parties, there hasn't any, but you have $1 million.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what's gonna happen. You put that money in my hand, I ain't gonna give a flying fuck. I'm going through the motions.
I'm going through the motion, and that's what's happening.
I'm gonna be in there pressing buttons.
not a kid in the portal because he's not playing. You know, he's not producing. He's making the money. Or I'm just gonna jump around, see if I can still get some money based off the hype that I may have had a year or two ago from high school. Because you got kids with no film hopping in the portal.
No film hopping in the portal like I should be playing. Like,
no
bro, you didn't even play. In fact, there's a guy like that, and I'm gonna read something to y'all real quick that I found out. Keem, you remember this because it was posted. We commented on it, but there was a guy from Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, if you haven't watched, and I know Keem, you follow me. There's players jettisoning. Like it's like all receivers are leaving. Players are leaving Oklahoma left and right. But I think it's happening in a lot of schools. Players leaving, but not as much as Oklahoma. These niggas are leaving. But one was a freshman receiver, Petway. Right. And people were like, oh my God, he's leaving. And he's like a guy, he runs like a 4.3, 4.2, really fast guy, a lot of talent. But people didn't even look at the fact that they were like, he's transferring. And someone was smart enough to bring up, even I brought up, but someone else brought up, this guy was supposed to be one of the top receiving recruits that we brought in. Every starting receiver and the back, so six receivers from Oklahoma were hurt. All the starters.
I remember that.
Yeah, so all of them, every last one of them hurt, right? And so you tell me this, Boogie and King, if you can't get on the field and you're supposed to be the best receiver recruit we brought in, and you can't get on the field and all the other guys are hurt, you can go.
Because that's your opportunity right there.
Yeah. You like there's a couple guys that did leave, like Hester, like a couple guys did leave, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? You left and you showed some, you know what I'm saying, some promise. But I think like to that to your point, if they ain't got no film or they ain't really, like, guys are just leaving because they don't like the environment. And I think that should be one thing that coaches do look at. I know as a coach, you got to bring in talent, but that should be one thing that you do look at. It's like, are you leaving because like you were cold as hell, you showed it on film, and there's just not a spot for you, or they wouldn't give you a spot? Like, or are you a guy that walked in there and said, like, I didn't like this? On the other hand, from Oklahoma, a guy like Jackson Arnold, no receivers, 4-string running back. Your offensive line is banged up. You can't even run deep running plays because your offensive line can't block, and you beat Alabama. You put up 24 points. He's leaving us, but that shows me, like, nah. Like, Georgia won him. Mississippi State won him, and then there's another good school that won him. But it's like, nah, he showed like, nah, I can really ball. Like, this team is trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
it's gonna come down to money because he had that good game against Bama, and they see like the young potential. So whatever he, money he's getting at Oklahoma now, it's kind of like the whole, real world outside of college sports. Is like now they leaving. It's a job now for real. So it's like, if I can leave my job and so another employer or team give me some more money, that's where they gonna go now.
So of course. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the next subject. And this is something that I really want to kind of touch on just today. Ohio lawmakers proposing a law to make flag planting in the middle of, I already know I'm smelling it too, my nigga. Flag planting in the middle of Ohio State Stadium. Now, this is the one thing I want to highlight, and I wish Sterling was here for this one. But make flag planting in the middle of Ohio State Stadium. No other stadium in the state of Ohio, just specifically Ohio State Stadium, a felony. Now, first and foremost,
that's crazy.
I ain't never seen no bitch ass shit, ass shit like I'm hearing right now.
Win the game, you don't got to worry about none of that.
Win the game, you don't got to worry about that. Like, this is what happened. They got their ass
beat twice. Shit ever.
They got their ass whooped twice. They got beat in the game. They got
that like 4 times.
And then they went ahead and they dropped their nuts on your fucking field. That's what happened.
If I'm your most hated rival and I beat you 4 years in a row, my nigga, like, nah, bro, you shut up. Go to the locker room and just take what happens, because you've had many times.
And I'm not liking how how the responses are for a lot of these issues. A lot of niggas is taking these things into the place of the court. Devin Haney, Drake, Ohio State, all y'all like some.
You win and you won't have to do none of that.
Yeah, bro. And that everything.
I'm not gonna lie. I find the Drake shit to be fucking hilarious.
It is hilarious. But it's like, bro, like, this is not the arena for that. Like,
nigga said, you know what? I'm gonna do what you don't want me to do.
Because I'm pretty sure prior to whether it's a rap battle or whether it's a rivalry game, you were talking shit at one point, and it's who gonna come out on top. So there's always gonna be a consequence to whatever rivalry or battle. If you lose, you gotta pretty much, chalk it up, and that the team or person that won, whatever they do, like, you knew that was gonna be the consequence going into it. So it's weird.
No, it's beyond weird. And there's a lot of bitch ass that's coming from the Midwestern part of the country and Ohio State's area, and there's a lot coming from down south in Alabama, and we're gonna get to that in a second. But like, it to me, like, I am a firm, and Keem, you know this, bro, because we, what I'm saying, we've interacted on the basketball court, and we're shit talkers, and like, we understand. I believe what Steph Curry says, sometimes you shimmy and sometimes you get shimmied. Like, it happens, no pun intended. Ha! But what you call it? But it's like, you have to be able to take it, pause, if you can give it. So pause again, no diddy. The world we live in today. But no, I just think that, like, if you playing, you're talking shit to them, they talking shit to you. If you lose, the best way you can avoid getting mad about the situation, and the best way that you can avoid being upset is turn. Well, first, produce and win. Second, if you do lose, turn your fucking back and walk. Go to the locker, turn your back and walk. Don't watch it. Like, to the dude that was sitting, the weakest motherfucking moment of it all was the dude that was at Ohio State. They can't plant their flag, bro. Nigga, you had 60 minutes. And
60 minutes.
And you went there for 4 years.
Because I feel like that all of that energy put into the fighting afterwards, the don't do this, don't, trying to take the flag. What was there for 60 minutes?
Y'all put the more fight in that flag shit than y'all did the whole goddamn game.
And it was funny.
Y'all was ranked higher.
Yeah, exactly. And it was funny for us as being, like, I'm not gonna lie, the NC State shit was fucking hilarious. The way that nigga threw the flag at NC State and threw it into the fan. Like, for us as fans, it's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? We think of when Baker Mayfield started the shit. But as far as players are concerned, and the bitching and complaining, I'm not gonna lie. That's one of the things that might be getting wrong with sports. Athletes used to say, whatever, man, talk your shit. I'm gonna go on the court and do what I do. And then when I win, I'm gonna call you a bitch. And I'm calling you a bitch right now. When I win, I'm really
I got
gonna
you
say
next
it.
time.
You know what I'm saying? But like, nowadays, it's like we don't want you to say that. Texas didn't want you doing the hook 'em down. We got motherfuckers at Ohio State saying you shouldn't be able to plant your flag. Like, this is the most bitch made nigga. You're playing sports. Yeah. Like,
because at the end of the day, it's still entertainment. It's sports and entertainment. So
it's got to be both. But it's competition. Like, it's competition. Like, you have to be able to, in one hand, like, talk your shit. And if you are a Tim Duncan, you can be a Tim Duncan. Just get your dubs and go on about your day. But if you are an Anthony Edwards, if you are a Luka, passive aggressive shit talker, if you are, you know what I'm saying, if you are some of these guys that get loud and talk shit, Trae Young today doing whatever he was doing. I don't know if you saw. Well, I know you saw, but I don't know if you know what it was. Whatever he was doing in the middle of the floor. I don't know what he was doing in the middle of the floor, but it looked like he was putting out a blunt or he was rolling dice or something.
Rolling dice. They say
he was okay, so he was rolling dice. Okay, so he was rolling dice. So
I didn't see that one. I gotta go back.
Oh, bro, you gotta watch it. Like, he was dribbling the ball as the clock's running out. He's dribbling it out. 10, 9. He's dribbling low like and one, acting like he's shooting dice on the floor, scooping that bitch up. Snapping his finger. And so like
I gotta go back.
Yeah, I couldn't tell what he was doing at first, but now that Boogie said it, because I was like, is he shooting dice? But yeah, so he was basically shooting dice, getting 7 on the come out.
And New York asked for that, man. The Knicks will be playing games not even against the Hawks, and they will be talking about Trae Young. If Trae Young is, man, Trae's like, bro, y'all not even playing the Hawks tonight. Like,
but that's what that beat do.
This is the result. Like, y'all know when y'all play the Hawks that there's much shit that y'all have talked that y'all have to win, and now y'all lose against the Hawks in a cup game.
Yep.
So this wasn't like just a regular season win. It was like, I beat you all in a cup tournament. Like, sent y'all packing. Y'all can't fight for the $500K now a piece.
Yeah, and that hurts. And see, you said some shit that's some shit that, like, I would say walking off the court, I would say, yeah, nigga, that $500K gone. Like, I would make sure that they felt that, like, on the way, like, damn.
The Knicks like have stacked I mean, so all of these people on one team, and the Hawks are just, they just got a lot of young guys over there. They just got random pieces, and
I mean, Villanova can only do so much.
Nah, but yeah, I mean that Trae Young celebration is going to be pretty much everywhere. You're going to.
I like it now that I.
Hopefully they don't ban it.
Ohio
State.
They might try
Ohio State.
Yeah, but back to Ohio State. The other bitch assness I done seen, and I'm gonna get it off my chest. As Key, you started making jokes all week, but you know what I'm talking. These motherfuckers from Alabama. I have never. Alabama more entitled. Alabama fans are more entitled than a white girl from the suburbs. Though.
Bro, you gotta think about
it. They believe that they should have everything in the world given to them because they rock that.
It was awful this year, though, bro. Alabama was awful this year, bro. This was the first year without Nick Saban, right?
Yes.
Showed.
Yeah, bro. They you could tell that the structure is not there, and just like the focus that Bama typically have to going into big games, and just even when they played teams that was far less talented, they still like struggled because there wasn't no structure. It's like, man, Nick ain't here. It's like, who cares? Like, what? It is what it is.
Facts. And you can tell.
That's how they lost their mojo, man. No structure, no focus. They don't have nobody to really steer and guide them who has that prestige. Because it's like, say what you gonna tell Saban? It's like, I know I've been successful, so if you can't be in this system, or you not gonna run through a wall, you're not gonna be on the field. So he had that. He had a lot of those guys scared, and I mean that's why a lot of those guys from Bama typically go to the NFL and flourish.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have my.
Most,
because I'm okay. So I'm the resident Bama hater. I don't even got a motherfucking I'm not gonna parse words. Hey, Alabama people, no Todd, fuck all y'all. I don't give a fuck. Let a nigga know that you lost to Oklahoma, and we was only 6-6. So and I went, and what the old woman say in Game of Thrones, I want them to know that we did it. But nah, I think that was a main thing that they were missing this year. They didn't have the folks that they had with Nick Saban. I think that also talent in certain areas of the game weren't there because Nick Saban coach, and it goes to King's point, the focus. Nick Saban's team's third quarter, if not already knocking you out, middle of the third on, it's going to be the hardest game of your life because there's not going to be very many mistakes made by the team in Crimson from Alabama. And this year we saw mistakes made. This year we saw, play that was just kind of like, why? And then Jalen Milroe is kind of like, he's cold, but at the same time, he would do some amazing shit, and then he would back it up with some, hold up, bro. Like, we know. And here's the thing about him. His inconsistent play at throwing the football is wildly, unexplainable because he can throw. So it's more or less, I think it has to do with maybe he didn't trust, his reads as much as he did in years past, which comes to focus and being when
he want to run. He want to run though.
But he does want to run. But if you watch him when he has to throw and he makes the throw, he can throw. He can throw the football. He can throw accurately.
He be launching them motherfuckers. They just got a couple of young receivers.
Well, they might have the prodigy. They might have the prodigy at receiver. But if you watch him throughout a game, and he does have bad moments when that's his mistake of the inconsistencies. But if I were to get a reel of his good throws that he had, you'd be like, okay, these aren't just good throws to all wide open guys. You'd say, okay, he can throw the ball. If I'm a coach, I'm thinking I can coach the consistency into this, and it doesn't look like you're gonna be able to. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next, which probably going to go. I think we got a few minutes before we have to shut it down. So we're going to go ahead real quick and do just two answer question. Pretty much, who do you have winning the Heisman, and who you got winning the Natty? We'll go with King first.
Yeah, Heisman, I'm going with Travis Hunter just because of what he done in the Big 12. I love historically what Genty did. I think 37 years since a running back done what he done. But I just got to go with conference wise. It was in the Mountain West. Really great. We gonna see if Boise State can, play a big team. I think they have the winner out of SMU and Penn State. We'll see what he do there. But I just got to go with Travis Hunter, a kid that, they really counted out. He done well, played both sides of the HBCU. It's like, it's the HBCU. Went to the Big 12, done the same thing, put up stats on both ends of the ball, no fly zone. People that did try him, he picked it off, or they didn't throw it his way. So I think, you got to give it to that kid, Travis Hunter. As far as winning the Natty, I think this just, Oregon year. They getting a lot of the big recruits. They have to win it all this year just to kind of confirm, like, hey, we here. It's our turn. It's time to go on a run. They have a shit ton of good players in the portal coming. They have a lot of 5-star high school kids coming there. They pretty much have played, well every game this year. That offense is ridiculous right now. So I think it's just their year. They have 0 national championships, so it's like they have to win, or they go just continue to be known as the school with all the gear.
Yeah,
they can't get it done.
I was about to
like
say shoes and booze.
I do like their head coach though. I do like their head coach.
Sneaky pick would be I'm looking at the bracket.
Yeah, I want
Georgia.
Sneaky pick.
Georgia.
Hey. I don't know about sneaky, but
I'm gonna say
go. But I'm gonna say like they are a good pick to win it.
If there's Carson Beck at quarterback, I am not a believer. And Russell can tell you that this season.
Yeah, he's awful. He's awful. I don't think, as Jaylen Brown would say about that he said about Brunny, I don't think he's a pro.
No, he's not. He showed us this one season alone that he is a perennial 4th round pick.
Not even that, man.
That's the best case scenario. Russ, who you got?
All right, so this goes against my religion. This goes against my faith. This goes against everything I ever believe in my life. But y'all, if everything goes properly, Texas should win this.
That's not
Texas has the most talented roster in college football.
Man, I think they have a shot if they put I think that offense flows better with Arch.
I'll say this though. No, and that's one of the things is that they have the best quarterback in college football, and he's the backup.
Yeah.
And so like, but
better
I'm
decision maker.
Yeah, exactly. Now I do think Quinn could lose it. But I just and I hate to do it, but I look at all the teams, and I think the only team on here that if Texas plays as good as football as they can play, because I think out of all these teams, Texas is the only team on this list that you look at that consistently you have seen throughout the year that has ran the ball down people's throats and has also thrown it over your head. They can beat you both ways on offense. Their defense is full of marauders. I fucking hate them with everything. I fucking hate them, but they are cold as shit. Now I do think Quinn Ewers has a choke in him. Pause. But that's the team I would say would be my favorite to win it. It fucking hurts me, and I hope that Oregon does its job. Keem, I hope you're right and I'm wrong. But I don't think there's another team that can go and lock up with Texas if they're playing as good as they can. And I think that Sarkisian does have the nutsack and balls to pull Ewers if he fucks up. I think if he fucks up and he believes that he can win the game with Arch, he's going to put Arch in the game. And I don't think anybody's fucking with Arch Manning. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. If Arch Manning touches the field, it's over for anybody.
He just has that engine. If you kind of look at them when they put him in certain situations, like the whole team just kind of rallies around him. Yep. He gets everybody pumped up and motivated. Ewers don't give me that feeling.
Yeah, he has that it factor. The immeasurable tangibles that a lot of people like to talk about.
Okay, so here's my sleeper though. You want to hear my sleeper?
Better be SMU.
That's what I want to win. I think me and Keem both can say that we riding the blue and red and white wave.
Yeah,
but we don't know. They gotta perform. But no, it's like I drove by there. What was it? Yesterday? Yeah, I drove by there yesterday, and my daughter was like, "What is that?" Because they got the flags out and everything. I was like,
they was maybe like a mistake or two away from winning that Clemson game, man. I think they right there. I don't know if you know Tyler Foster. He went to UTSA, played football. He's the assistant running backs coach over there / director of recruiting. Nice. Doing a good job. So I'm definitely rooting for SMU, man. They can get it out. That SMU was solid, man. I'm happy they got in.
Yeah. So that I know, Boogie. We got to go in a second. But SMU, they did have that bad quarter. But to King's point, a couple bad plays. If they didn't start the game like they started, they would have won that game. My sleeper, it's another one that's weird for me because I want IU to win the game, but I think that if Notre Dame is able to get it going and able to play their style of football throughout the playoff, Notre Dame is a sleeper. Notre Dame can play really good football, and I think Notre Dame can play really good football in a playoff format, which means a lot of slow, grinded out, you know what I'm saying, not really explosive. And I think they can trick a lot of people into playing that game. But I hope IU wins. But both teams I hope win. So fuck Texas though. This don't mean I love you, Texas. This just means that I have to give you credit for being cold, but y'all niggas trash.
All right, so here's my pick before we have to bounce. So as far as the Heisman goes, I think it's going to be Jenny. Just off the fact that if he breaks Barry's record, I think that's going to push him over to get in. My heart wants it to be Travis because he plays both ways. Pause. And I always felt that your athletic ability should be valued a little bit more whenever we're talking about individual.
They're announcing it after the playoffs or during?
Just before, isn't it?
I think yeah.
Or it'll be during. It'll probably be during one.
I'll look it up.
So Genty is gonna have the opportunity for one more game before the Heisman.
Yeah. This is ridiculous.
That's gonna be the. I think that's gonna be the difference maker. If he goes off against like SMU or Penn State,
if he breaks, if he breaks the rushing record, the Barry Sanders rushing record, I think that gets him in. I mean, I think that's what pushes him over.
I can't disagree, but I think that any player that plays both sides of the ball and
being rushed right is ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying?
And Boise State is in the playoffs too. Yeah. Versus
that's why I give Genty credit because he carried his team to the playoff. Yeah. But if you're playing both sides of the football, offensive and defensively, and you're a star on both sides,
it has to matter. It has to matter.
It has because in the future, any star. And Boogie, we can cut it after this. Y'all can say what you say. Any star that plays both sides of the ball deserves the Heisman over a person that plays one side, especially if you balling. Set a precedent that this is going to be the way it goes. If you play both sides of the ball, if you're a receiver, cornerback, a linebacker, running back, whatever you want to call it, if you play both sides of the ball, because what I told someone is Genty is that cold, but has he tackled somebody for a loss? Has he forced a fumble for a touchdown? Because Travis Hunter has.
He got in.
Travis Hunter has.
Travis has broke defenses and shut down offenses. Like what are we talking about?
That nigga, to close it, that nigga's like the Kawhi Leonard of college football. But he really need to worry about that chick he with. Bye.
तेरी यादों का तेरी याद में निहा 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 तेरी याद